Hello my dear HRs, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm discussing few things about being in a HR job that does not feel really good. I mean, they feel little negative about the HR job, and it is not to scare you and not to say that HR is not an amazing job. But you guys, every job out there has its own positives and negatives, and it's important for us if we are trying to make a career into a certain field, we should be aware about both the things. Though these points are not very drastic that you feel disappointed being on this career journey of HR, becoming a HR, but these are subtle things that doesn't feel very good about being into a HR job. So let's get started. Point number one, lack of appreciation. Now, like most of the support jobs, HR job is a job where appreciation is negligible. I mean, you will not find anybody appreciating HR work. Most of the time, people outside company or people inside company other than HR team think that HR does not have much work, and whatever they do for the company or for the employees, it's considered as it's their job. They have to do it. There's nothing to appreciate about it. You can talk to any HR around you and they can vet on this point that lack of appreciation is one thing that really feels sad about HR job. Point number two, lesser benefits in comparison to the normal employees who are not HR. For example, referral bonus. Referral bonus is given to employees when they refer anybody in the company for any position, but HRs cannot refer anybody. I mean, they can refer, but they do not get any referral bonus. Why? As I said, whatever a HR do, it is supposed to be their job. Hiring people is their job, so they do not get any referral bonus for referring people. Also, this rule is practiced in the companies to save any biasness, because if HRs will get the referral bonus, obviously HRs have access to more candidates, so they can just keep referring and getting the bonus. So that's the reason that this rule is there, and HR people do not really get referral bonus. And likewise, there are other benefits as well. For example, if there is any competition which is held in the company and there is a huge prize for that competition, for the winner of the competition, HRs usually are not allowed to participate, and even if they participate, they are not entitled for that huge prize. It's mostly kept for other employees. So that does not feel very good, but that's how it is. Next on the list is balancing interest. Now, this one is very hilarious. I mean, HRs are supposed to balance the interest of organization and the employees. I mean, employees should always feel that organization, the company is caring about them, and the company, the management should always feel that employees are working for their benefit. I mean, HR is supposed to balance that. And in balancing this, often people misunderstand HRs. I mean, employees always blame HR that HR is just playing like a puppet to the management, and management feel that HR team is just bringing out stupid concerns of the employees in the management meetings. I mean, that does not make any sense. So that becomes very funny, and most of the time employees do not even believe that HRs do actually think about their welfare, because ultimately HR is also an employee. If employees get any benefit, it will also be a beneficial thing for HR. And if there's something negative happening in the interest of employees, it will also impact the HR also, because HR is also an employee. But people fail to understand this, and this thing becomes so funny in HR jobs that only HR can tell you. Next on the list is dealing with conflicts. HR job becomes so undesirable when on daily basis you have to be part of conflict resolving, because employees come up with very creative conflicts every other day, and you will find yourself thinking that why the hell somebody is fighting on such a small thing, or why I am here in the first place listening to these arguments, and why I have to resolve them. They are big enough people to understand the facts, and why can't they just settle things down? But as a HR, it's your job to hear the conflict, to resolve the conflict, to document the conflict, and making sure that that conflict do not arise in future. So if you are somebody who naturally do not like being in a conflict or overhearing a conflict, then it's going to be a little difficult for you to be in HR. Next on the list is difficult conversations. I have mentioned, I think, this one in one of my earlier videos as well. By difficult conversation, I mean conversation which you do not feel like having. For example, layoffs. Layoffs happens in every company, and being a HR, at times you will have to communicate those terminations to employees. You will have to give those pink slips to the employees, and you have to let them go regardless of what their situation is in life. And even if you are aware that the person is not doing well financially and he or she is in need of this salary, still you cannot change the decision taken by the management, and you have to convey that you have to terminate that person then and there. And most of the times employees do not understand this. They burst out on the person who is conveying the message to them, rather than thinking it from the perspective that management has taken the decision and HR is just conveying the message. People mostly take out their feelings on HR, only thinking that HR is taking all these decisions and it's HR's fault. Though HR is not somebody who's deciding these mass layoffs or terminating the employees at that scale, but still as a HR you have to deal with those difficult conversations. Another example of difficult conversation can be, for example, you have hired a lot of people, you have offered them, they've already resigned from their organization, and then all of a sudden company is losing the project for which they have made those offers. I mean, the project is not coming anymore to the company. Then you will have to convey that news of offer cancellation to those people, and believe me guys, most of the times it turns out bad, really, really bad. Next on the list is compliance related issues. Now, HR team is responsible for always making sure that the company is compliant with state regulations of labor laws and all of that stuff. And those laws keeps changing. If at any given point of time you fail to comply to all of that, the company can literally fall into legal issues. I mean, company will get a legal notice and it will become a very big thing. So it is a huge responsibility, and at the same time it is quite stressful. And most of the time in such situations you'll find out that it's not even the HR team's mistake or company's mistake in general. The way things work with government and all of those regulations are first very, very slow. I mean, the way they communicate is very old school till date. If you fail to receive one notice or if it gets misplaced, you will never know what notice came to you. I mean, the ways of working are very old school. So this is one aspect of HR which is very tricky, and it can put you in a very troubling situation where the entire company is put into a legal issue. Next on the list is limited career growth. Now, this is very subjective. I mean, not all people feel this, but you have to agree at this point that a company hires way more less HRs than they hire other employees. For example, you'll see hundreds of software developers, data analysts, data scientists in a company, but when it comes to HR, it's very few number of HR people in a particular company. So from that perspective, if you talk about number of opportunities, it's comparatively very less than other job profiles. So it can make you feel that you have a very limited career opportunities in the market. And also you'll notice that as you grow in your career of HR, these opportunities become more and more less, because obviously at a junior level there will be still a lot of HR people, a lot of HR executive, but there will be only one HR manager in the company, and then there will be only one VP HR, CHRO, all of that stuff. So it gets lesser and lesser when you move higher, but that's how it is with other roles as well. I mean, when you move up the hierarchy for any role, the number of roles gets lesser and lesser, and with time, if you want to sustain yourself, the only way is that you work on your skills. You should be so good in your skills that if there is just one opportunity but thousands of people who are trying to get into it, you get shortlisted for that. So that's the only way to prove yourself. So that was it, guys. It was quite fun talking about this side of HR as well, because mostly I preach about great things about HR, but nonetheless, as I said, it's not to scare you. It's always great to know the story from both sides, positives and negatives, because it helps you to take your decisions more smartly. So with that, we came to the end of this video, guys. If you still have any query, put them in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. With that, I'm signing off. You keep on watching more content on the HR destination to be a successful HR professional, and I'll see you in my next one. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.